Hey YouTubians, it's Russ Sandlin again. I wasn't planning on doing a video today, but a few of you have told me, look at the news. You got to take a look at the news. So as you know, last week we had three banks that failed in the U.S. The second and third largest bank failures on two of them. So it's a pretty big deal, and the markets are unsettled. Everything is dropping like a rock except for silver and gold. So what happened last night? I have a friend who you're going to meet in one of my new podcasts coming up who does financial advising in the United States. And he told me, Russ, there's a lot more that are going to fail this week. So this is a call to action to all of my friends who still have some money. Some of you still do. If you have over $250,000 in a bank account anywhere, do my strategy. Open 5 accounts and divide it. Like if you got $1 million, get down to 200,000 in 5 different banks so that it's all FDIC approved. For right now, the FDIC is still solvent. It's not a bank. The central bank is not a bank, and it's not a Federal Reserve or anything like that. But the bank will keep you 100% safe with 250,000 only. If you have $251,000 under the letter of their guarantee, you'll lose that extra thousand. So they made an exception with Silicon Valley. It's yet to be seen if they're going to make an exception on Signature. That is called a bail-in, by the way. It's not the same as the Goldman Sachs or the Lehman Brothers and all that, the bail-ins that happened in 2008. That was a whole different ball of wax. That was a derivatives issue, and it was non-secured derivatives for mortgages. That was a big collapse of the system where banks didn't trust each other. Now, banks don't trust each other for different reasons. And what happened was the United States government and the central bank has done something to upset the whole banking system. We've been going through rampant inflation. That means cost of goods and service have been going up a lot more than the government's saying since COVID, when they flushed a bunch of money. They printed money like crazy. And so the government has been raising the interest rates that they charge to banks, the overnight rates, a lot, going from 0% to 0.5%, 1%, 2, 3, 4. We're already up to 5%. So you see that for high mortgage rates now. And what happened was these banks, a lot of them, there's like dozens of them, they borrowed money from the government on these treasury bonds at these interest rates, expecting to get that money back. And then all of a sudden they lended money at a higher rate. Well, now the money that the government is giving them for these bonds is less than the money that they've lent out to their customers. So they aren't liquid anymore. The banks don't have enough money anymore because of the higher interest rates from the government. So their overnight interest rates, the cost of a bank to borrow now has exceeded the amount of the loans that they have on their books. So it's like you let your neighbor borrow $5 and you say, give me $6 tomorrow. And your dad is giving you $7 to cover it. Well, all of a sudden, your dad came back and said, I'm not giving you $7, I'm going to give you $3. So now you're waiting to get the $6 for your next door neighbor, but you only have $3 to cover it. So you've got a $3 loss. Well, that's high level what's happened to Signature and Silicon Valley banks. So why am I doing this emergency lookout, lippity-do, look out now, we're in big trouble? Well, if you look below in this video, I have some links. First Republic Bank has just had their Fitch rating and S&P rating knocked down to basically junk bond rate. There's a couple others, but First Republic, their stock price tumbled 16% after this happened last night. First Republic is going to go under. I'm the first to call it. I mean, maybe a couple pundits out there saying it. They're saying, oh, it may go under. It's going under. It probably will go into receivership today. Today is the 16th, March 16th in the United States. So I think it'll go under today. And there's probably 5 or 6 more that'll go. So what does that mean? There's probably going to be some bailouts from the government, but the government doesn't have the money to do the bailout. And they don't have people who are buying the treasury bonds anymore. China doesn't want any more of our debt. Japan doesn't want any more of our debt. And they're moving towards a different banking system. The United States has had, since 1945, the global currency. That means that our currency that we print out, it's something that everyone recognizes as the most stable currency. That's been eroding a lot. In 1974, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. In other words, we used to have, and we still do, Fort Knox have a lot of gold, but we backed up our debts with the gold. He took it off in 1974 because France came back and said, you know what, you're spending too much money. We want the debt that you have for us, we want you to give us gold. And Nixon said no. So when that happened, we had some inflation. In the 1970s, we had runaway inflation. I think we have the same inflation now, but no one's talking about it because they keep reevaluating what inflation is. Hey, it's not a recession if we have 2 back-to-back quarters of no growth. No, we're going to maybe make it 3 quarters or 4 quarters. So the government is changing the rules, which is no bueno. But at any rate, if there's a bail-in, that means they're going to take money and higher taxes from the United States or worse. So if you have money, if you have over $250,000 in any bank, ladies and gentlemen, open some offshore accounts for, that are with stable. Don't go to Credit Suisse. They're a bank that might become insolvent this week as well in Switzerland. But maybe HSBC, something like that, a jurisdiction outside the United States. Maybe HSBC in the UK. I'd say Deutsche Bank, but Deutsche Bank is in trouble right now. Most of the banks in Europe are in trouble right now. So, I'm happy because I'm in Qatar and the government would back the banks here, at least for right now. I was in Kuwait when there was a bank run, as I told you yesterday, and the government came in and backed up our bank. They came in and gave us the cash to keep us liquid because there was a line going 3 blocks around the block at our main branch to get money. People were rioting and they were going to every branch demanding their money. So bank runs are not good because what happens is banks have fractional holdings. What does that mean? So they don't have, if you put in $100 into your account, into your bank, your $100 isn't there anymore. What they do is they'll lend out 95% of it. And since COVID in the United States, they lend out 100% of it. So the bank does not have your cash when you put it in. So the government will guarantee up to $250,000 of that money if there's a bank run, but that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, First Republic will probably become insolvent today. If you have over $250,000 in there, go this morning. Get in your car right now and go get your money out now. Be in front of everybody else. And then any bank that you have over $250,000 in, take it and put it and distribute it. If you have a lot of money, put some cash under your pillow. I'm telling you, get a safe and lock it up. Don't tell anybody about it. And get some Swiss francs because they're a little bit easier to move around. It's a 1,000 franc bill. They're pretty easy to put in your shoe, and do what I do. I don't have a lot, but I have gold and silver. And I think gold and silver are going to rule the day. You can still go to the bank and do coin roll hunts. I do it. And you go through and look at all the quarters and the dimes, and you'll be able to pull out 2 or 3 silver coins that are still in currency. I'm not kidding. Or go to Coinstar when you go shopping. You know the Coinstars? Look in the refuse bin underneath because the coins that are too heavy fall there, which means a lot of silver coins fall through there. I have found hundreds, I'm not kidding, hundreds of coins in Coinstar that turned out to be silver. Anything that's from pre-1964 is silver if it's a dime, nickel, or half dollar in the United States. So again, this is a call to action. Anybody who has money, if you have over $250,000, distribute it among 5 banks in the U.S. And if you still have more than 250,000 in any of your bank accounts, pull it out. Get gold, get silver. You can, you need to find a reputable source to buy it. I mean, fortunately for me, I can go to Doha Bank here and buy gold at spot. I'm not kidding. It's a really good deal here in Qatar. But you need to really take steps today before you lose your hard-earned money. It's a bad time that we're coming into. It's going to be a rough time. I know we're hearing it's going to be okay. It's not. It's going to be a rough time. You need to buckle up. You should probably have 3 or 4 weeks of food, canned food in your closet. You should probably have your medicine stocked up. Have some cash on hand, and be ready for things to get bad. And I'm not trying to say the sky is falling, but in all likelihood, there's going to be more bank runs. And with more bank runs, there could be civil unrest. And certainly, you could be like in Cyprus a few years ago, where none of the ATMs work, or Greece. Or worse, in Cyprus, what the banks will do, because they become insolvent and the U.S. government becomes insolvent, they take 20% of your bank account. So you have 100,000 sitting in your Bank of America account. You come in the next day and you'll have 80,000 because there's a 20,000 fee levied against the bank on all bank holders, which goes back to the U.S. government. That's what happened in Greece and in Cyprus, and that could happen in the late great United States. That could happen. That's called a bail-in. So, ladies and gentlemen, look out for First Republic. It's probably going to be the 4th bank that goes under, probably today. If you have over $250,000 in your savings in any bank, get it down to $250,000 and distribute it among other banks, and get yourself some gold and silver. And don't go to some rip-off place. You want to find, do some Google search to find the best prices, and you want to own it. You want to have it. You probably want to find a good dealer that sells at a good price, not a huge markup, that you can go buy it, and at least have it delivered to you overnight, something like that. You want to have it in your house, and you don't want to tell anybody, your friends, your family. It's like Fight Club. If you have gold and silver, you don't tell anybody about it. You just lock it up. You hide it and lock it up, and don't tell anybody. Not your friends, your family, your neighbors, nobody. Trust no one, because if things get bad and they know, hey, that guy over there, he's got a bunch of gold and silver, your house is going to get ransacked, and you're probably going to get hurt or killed over it if things get really bad. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and sub. I'll keep bringing you news. I'll keep bringing you all the things that I'm into. But I thought I had a duty of care to tell you about the First Republic thing, because it's looking ugly. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day.